So the key to search engine optimization has to be your key phrase research. And let me explain why. The whole emphasis on search engine optimization is to get traffic to your website. But of course that traffic has to be the right kind of traffic. So we're targeting individual people, and those individual people will use specific words to find you. Now imagine a situation whereby we have 10,000 people who search for a key phrase that's got absolutely nothing to do with what you do. And they search for this every month, and we manage to optimize your website for that key phrase. Now you might get 10,000 people searching for that phrase, and you'll get a percentage of that 10,000 people all clicking through to your website. But if it's not related in any way to what you do, what's the chance of you actually generating any business from any of those 10,000 people? And now when I say that the key phrase is not totally related, that's fairly easy to understand. So you probably don't have a problem getting that concept. But what I want to show you in this program is how you should take that a step further and really focus on getting your key phrase research really laser targeted for effective results. So there are really two key numbers that you need to look at in key phrase research. First of all is the level of competition. Now the level of competition is fairly easy to find. Choose your desired key phrase, go into Google, have a search and find out how many results arrive. Okay, and as you find that, you'll find out what your total competition is. So if I go into Google and search for web design, whatever the number is of competing pages or results that comes back, that tells me what my total competition is. But what I'm really looking for is more, what is the strength of the competition? So now grab that search and use speech marks or inverted commas either side of the phrase. What you're doing when you do this, by the way, is using an exact match search. So you're telling Google, I just want you to bring me back the results with an exact match to what it is that I've just searched for. Now why that's particularly useful in key phrase research is you're going to start to see how many pages are optimized exactly for the phrase that you are intending to use. So the first number is the number of competition, and I've just shown you how to search for that for an exact match and also for the total matched to that term. While the level of competition shows you the potential difficulty, of course what's really important is the amount of people looking for the search term that you're intending to use. And this is where you might find some real sort of differences coming up in between what you believe is a good phrase and what the Google keyword tool will tell you is a good phrase in terms of the number of people searching. So let me just talk about the Google keyword tool. Now I've put up the address for you to go and have a look, and the basic principle is this: as you add in a search term, so a search phrase, Google will then suggest some others alongside that, but at the same time it will tell you how many people search globally and locally. Now, before you get too carried away, locally means the country that you are in. So if you're making this search from the UK, then globally will probably mean all of the English-speaking countries around the world, because it's certainly based on the English that you've typed in there. But if you've got the local search volume, that's going to be how many people in the UK, not necessarily in your local area. Now that you know the difference between global and local searches, which number is relevant? Well, that's quite simple. Where do you trade? If you want to be found globally for a service that you can provide globally, then of course the global number is the number that's important to you. If you're a local business, then probably the national level is certainly a more clear indicator of what you might be able to achieve, and you've got to think, how will that then filter down if I only supply a service within a small geographic region? What you'll see from the Google keyword tool is a list of other suggestions. So now what we're looking at is what search phrases are used by how many people each month. And this is a really interesting exercise, because it might just be that the phrase you thought about isn't the #1 search term, but now this will enable you to find one. One of my tips for this is start off with something fairly generic and let Google do all of the work for you in making other suggestions. So let me use an example so that I can show you how this works in practice. Let's assume that we want the keyword for pickup trucks. So now what you are is you're a van leasing company or a pickup leasing company, let's say, and you want to be #1 for all of the phrases that will bring people to your website who want to lease a pickup truck. So you're going to start off with the key phrase pickup truck. Now that key phrase is a short tail key phrase, and we have long tail and short tail, and what they mean is quite simple. Something very specific, such as stationery, is a short tail. Office stationery supplier starts becoming a longer tail. Office stationery supplier High Wycombe is an even longer tail. And as you become more specific, you narrow down two things. One, you'll reduce the amount of people using that term, obviously, but two, you actually get the people who really could buy from you. So let's step back for a second and use our term pickup truck. Now, under pickup truck, what we might find is pickup truck models. Okay, if we've got a variety of models relating to pickup trucks, different brands, different makes, different versions, and therefore models of different makes, is pickup trucks or pickup truck models a good key phrase? You'd be right if you thought that they were good key phrases from the point of view that they're relevant to the target business, so the business that is able to lease out those. But let's just explore them a little bit further. What I want you to do is think about who uses these key phrases. And let's go with that magic number again, 10,000 people. So let's assume that 10,000 people were searching for pickup truck models every month. Now what I'd encourage you to do is write down every single person who might use that term within their search. And what I'm meaning here is, of course, not their names. What I'm trying to put across is, why might they look at that? Okay, let's start giving you a few clues. If I wanted to buy a dinky toy that was of a pickup truck, would I use the key phrase pickup truck models? And the answer is yes. But am I in the market to lease a pickup truck? And the answer then is no. Okay, what about if I want to make a model and paint it and maybe put in a motor and make a remote controlled pickup truck, but I want to do it from a kit form? Now, would I also use the term pickup truck models? And again, the answer is yes. Now, what about maybe I want pictures of models alongside pickup trucks? So these are models who go out and make themselves look pretty all over pickup trucks. Would that also be a good key phrase if that's what I wanted to find? And once again, the answer is yes. And the picture that I'm trying to paint now is that actually lots of people with different requirements and different end games are going to use that term pickup truck models. So if we take our original 10,000 people who wanted to search or do search using that term pickup truck models, how many of them are relevant to our business if we do pickup truck leasing? And suddenly the numbers are reducing. And the only thing that we can do at this point is assume that for every different reason that you might search for it, you divide that equally. In reality, 90% of all of those searches might be for pickup truck leasing, and they might be looking at the different models of pickup trucks, but equally it could just be 10%. So we have to just divide them equally. That's all we can do at this point. Suddenly, what does that 10,000 look like? And it's probably a lot less. Now, what if I had pickup truck leasing? How many people search for that per month, and how does that divide? You know, if I wanted now a model of a pickup truck, would I have used the term pickup truck leasing? Unlikely. What about if I wanted pictures of models who are looking pretty alongside a pickup truck? Unlikely too. What about kit forms? And we start getting really specific with our key phrases. Now, I know pickup truck leasing would be obvious for that scenario, but quite often we come up with these key phrases without doing some real human, common sense checking of just who else might be using that key phrase. And when we do that, it will lower down the amount of potential sales that we'll make. So, there's a few exercises for you to do with Keyphrase Research. But what I want you to think about is really being laser targeted. The whole objective is not to get visitors to your website. It's to get the right visitors to your website so that they convert well.